Hey everyone, welcome back to Studio, and today I'm here with a brand new video for you guys. I am going to be reviewing Riverdale Season 5, Episode 16, titled Chapter 92, Band of Brothers. Um, so, overall, I thought this was an okay episode. Parts of it I liked. I guess overall, like, it wasn't like a bad episode by any means. I feel like it was still, not as good as previous episodes we've seen, but not awful. I feel like it's on level with all the episodes we've seen during the second half of the season. Again, it wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. It just average. I think a lot of people agree with me about this specific episode. And this wasn't one I was really hyped up about. Like the Pussycats one, I was really excited for, and I had something to look forward to. In this past one, sure it was Riverdale, but it was nothing interesting happening. It was just kind of back to normal. However, I am excited for this week's episode about episode 17, the Dance of Death one. I am excited. So it's like every other episode that I look forward to. So it's tough just because then that week I'm less motivated. But I think we got 3 good episodes in a row, so I'm excited about that. Okay. So we kind of had this whole Archie trauma storyline going on with the war. We find out that his former commanding officer is being discharged with honors. He's upset because obviously the general sent him on a dirty mission. We found out the true story that apparently the general sent them in to deliver supplies right in front of on a suicide mission, pretty much. Try to apparently he wanted to kill someone, and that was his goal. So he was sending them out there to kill this person. He told Archie beforehand. Archie did not want to do it, but he persisted for Archie to go ahead and do it. So they went out there, and most of the men die as a result of it. It is really sad, though. It is really sad just because, literally, poor Archie, he was, stressed out. He had to go and get help. And I just felt really bad for him. It was, that scenario is tough being in a war anyways, but being in a situation where your general was sent you on a mission that could have killed you. I get unpredictable things happen in the war, but to do it in a way that makes your men actually possibly die, that's not a good thing. And we find out that apparently the general had approached Jack or Eric before. I don't know why. It's either Eric or Jackson. I'm just going to call it Jackson. Apparently, he approaches him before and offers him a promotion to kill the target. So I guess he killed the target, but he did have to leave while Archie was gone trying to get help. So I guess he left, and then maybe he killed him. I'm not exactly sure. The guy that the general wanted to kill. But no matter what, Eric still lost his leg that way. So, yeah, we got that whole thing going on. And so they have this tribunal. Archie meets with all the men's families, and they agree to testify against him and Eric testify against the general at the tribunal, and I guess it works out. So I'm not sure if this is the end of the storyline, but I guess I am kind of glad. I do feel like this was one of the better storylines for Archie. I wasn't hugely invested in it, but I guess enough to care, and probably one of my favorite storylines of the episode. I don't know about favorite necessarily, but I don't know, this episode again, all the storylines were a little bit weak in their own regards, but I thought this one was a little bit stronger than others. Okay, so we also have going on here Veronica's whole story. So pretty much Chad has his new business going on, and something involving a helicopter thing from Martha's Vineyard. He wants Veronica to invest. She's not doing it. She's obviously not going to. There's no point in her investing when he's pretty much screwed her over several times. And then we kind of get this whole other storyline when Chad goes ahead and calls the SEC on her, and they want to review the Pearls and Posh books. So they need to find a way to drive the SEC away with money or something even more valuable, which is palladium. They don't know where Hiram's stashed the palladium's at, but luckily Reggie calls up Hermosa and gets the location of it. Also, I guess Reggie and Hermosa dated during the time jump. I guess that's what they were trying to say. Veronica's jealous expression. I saw you, girl. Veggie rising at some point. I hope so, because we need some romance. There's no romance going on right now. It's really boring. in that department. I mean, it's good storylines going on in a sense, but nothing like nothing romantic. It's weird. This is like the longest we've gone with no romantic stuff. Well, there's been times. Season 4 first part was tough to get through as well because Riverdale hasn't really gone into drama, to be honest. I mean, they have, but they haven't gone deep into it even when they're in high school. But moving on. Okay, so they find the palladium and they take it. They steal his palladium from underneath his sodium model. They brand Cheryl's name on it and they put it for auction. And then she gives it to someone else. So now they have the palladium. Um, and then they're able to pay off the SEC. And she's able to use that. Well, she's able to use that money to pay off the SEC. Um, so yeah, that whole storyline's covered. So then she goes to Chad's party that he's having for his new helicopter business because it's public, and she goes there and tries to flirt with him and try to give him the idea that maybe they could work something out. Or during that time, she calls the press to shut his business down, puts a story in the news that he crashed a helicopter and his whole business is shut down. So she screws her husband over and she ends up screwing Hiram over in the process because, again, she stole his palladium. So there's a lot going on there. It's very illegal, but I guess good job for Veronica for sticking her ground and whatever. I mean, I still don't fully understand why. Why is she doing all this work? But I like the scenes with her and Reggie, and I guess by the end, maybe this is the last we've seen of Chad. Maybe I do feel like he'll be back. I'm pretty sure because they still got to get their divorce. And I think I think I still have him and Veronica next episode. So he's gonna be back, and I know we're just not gonna get him out easily. It's gonna take some pain. So whatever about Veronica's storyline, not my favorite, but whatever. Okay, so then we have this whole Jughead storyline going on. Pretty much, he's 7 days sober. Good job. And he wants to start his apology tour. He goes to the Cooper residence. Alice is there, very depressed. Can't blame her. She's going through a lot. I mean, her daughter's literally missing. Her other daughter's never home, apparently, because Betty's on the streets on the lonely highway trying to get information about Polly, and she's wearing like these like really like glamorous outfits that I don't know. Her flirting was awful though. A few episodes back, you can tell she's out of practice. Um, Okay, so we have that whole thing going on, and then what he decide. So then he goes to Mr. Weatherby, and he wants his job back, but he puts him on administrative leave, so he's done with his teaching job for now. Which I forgot they were all teachers because we hardly ever see them in class. Okay, so we have that whole thing going on, and then he apologizes to Tabitha for putting her under that stress and the position of watching over him during the mushroom thing. Um, and then she tells him that Jessica has his manuscript because Sam wants pages from him, his agent. So then what he decides to do is that he goes and he finds the old manuscript that girl Cora sent him back in 504. She's like, hey, look this over, my manuscript. And then they slept together and then she just disappeared. So he still has the manuscript and he sends that in as his. So it's kind of plagiarism in a way, like using her story for his. But then he confides in Sam and he drops him. So we had that going on. And then Betty and Jughead have this talk, kind of weird to be honest, but I'm just gonna try to ignore it. I mean, it was really weird. Like, I know a lot of fans were really looking forward for their talk, but I didn't see anything romantic about it whatsoever. Like, I didn't understand why they were having the talk in the first place. Jughead did apologize for the voicemail, but he was also drinking during it, so I feel like that's a problem, to say the least. So yes, we have that whole thing going on. I guess I guess they gotta have more, like, they gotta talk more if they really want to work out their issues, because that was just the beginning. Like, this much, and she ghosted him, and that's not a good sign at all. It's gonna take a while for these two to get back together if they do. It's not gonna be, if they want to play that story, which I kind of hope, well, if they can build it back up to a healthy place, I guess I'll be fine with it. I mean, I'm still in the Barty train. I'm really hoping they would come back with that, but okay. So, and then Jughead and Tabitha have a sweet moment. It definitely looks like they're building that up. And then Betty and Tabitha go on the lonely highway and they investigate together. So, love their team up. Okay, finally, Cheryl and Kevin. So, they have their new church. It's cringy, but whatever. It's kind of funny at times, but it's also not funny. And that's a problem because I'm very conflicted on this storyline. Um, Okay, so pretty much they're about to sing, and then Penelope's like, "No, Jason wants us to stop singing." She just is being kind of crazy. They're really trying to introduce like, I don't know, just different like creatures or like winds and gods, and they're trying to tease us with that, especially what happens later on at the end of the episode. So then Kevin's like, if you want to gain control of your mom, you're gonna have to qualify for sainthood. You have to perform 3 miracles. Okay, so first miracle is turning water into maple syrup, replicating water to wine. And the second miracle is like letting her hands bleed. I guess trying to represent the wounded cross. I guess. And then the last miracle is grabbing honeycomb with bees all over it and them not stinging her. So yes, we have all of that going on. So I guess it shows, and she's able to take control of the ministry over Penelope, and because Penelope leaves. So that's kind of the end of that. It was really a weird way of showing it, but that's just kind of the end. I guess there's more with this ministry to come. I kind of want it to be over, but in a way, I'm like, okay, I guess I can live with it. I mean, it is a weird storyline, but oh well. I mean, I don't understand. I feel like Kevin's useless in a sense. He's just being thrown there. Because at the end, he's like, well, did you put any ointment on your hands for, the bees not to sting you? But she says, no, she didn't. And she thinks that she's the holy of all holiness or something like that. And she thinks that she might have powers in her. So, do I think she's a witch? Maybe. You never know. You never know with Cheryl. I feel like she's discovering something new about herself like every season, something huge, whatever it might be. Okay. So that's kind of all I have to say. I mean, overall, good episode. Not great again. I would give it an A minus or a B plus. I'm excited for this week's episode though. Dance of Death. Comment down below what you thought of this episode. Like, comment, subscribe, and turn your post notifications so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and bye everyone.